Yeah, let's open our project. Today we're going to add S meter, and we're going to add write frequency from this program into the radio. Let's take a label. Let's change font property to Calibri, bold, 14, and name it S, like signal. For displaying signal, of course, we can draw a fancy picture of S meter, but right now let's do the simple way. Let's use progress bar from the Win32. Let's take component progress bar. In future we will do, when we finish our program, in future we will do everything looks visually much better. Now we're just making it working. Okay, let's change property on so let's change property top a little bit, 76, so it should be on the same level as letter S. Let's open our C++ file. It's called Icom read info, and create function to read signal. Let's make it logic bool signal read. We will need to use the following variables: handle H, which will be our port; integer A, it will be a radio ID; and char B, it will be info, which read from the radio. The first, if H is null, we are going to stop the function return. Like in previous function, let's name word bytes read, bytes write. Char read signal. It will be 7 bytes. From the Icom CIV manual, we can see the command is to read signal is 01502. So full command will be 0FE, 0FE, 0E0, 015, 02, and 0FD on the end. Also, let's create a buffer to read data. Now let's send command write file. Before I forgot, let's make read signal second byte is radio ID. So write file, handle read signal 7 bytes, bytes write, null. Read file, handle port boof 100, bytes read, null. So let's make error checking. Create integer R1, which will compare memory. read signal, boof 7 bytes. If R1 not equal 0, or bytes read less than 7, two vertical lines mean OR. And one more OR. Last byte in the read buffer, boof bytes read minus 1. If it's not equal 0 FD, then we stop function by return. In case we did function bool, so we need to return value. In our case 0 if it's false, 1 if it's true. So if everything is good, so we need to create two integers. Let's name them C. C1 is equal buffer bytes read minus 3, and C2 is equal boof bytes read minus 2, because read signal return 2 bytes. From the value can be from 0 to 255. And in final, let's make C1 as C1 multiply to 100 in hex plus C2. Why we multiply? Because it's the first byte, and it should be multiplied. Let's create string A. String A is integer to string C1. And let's copy our string into the char, because we are not able to directly send string from the function to main program. Let's copy the name of the function. Let's open H file. It's important, we need to declare this function in H file also. Okay, so file compiled good, so its main function is written without any errors, without any mistakes. So let's add this function into our thread, which working in background and reading frequency. So we add OK is equal signal read Icom radio ID, and let's call the variable is signal data. Let's declare it on the top as a global variable, char signal data. And here in the timer, we need to add displaying this this info, because we are not able to send this value to progress bar directly from the thread. As I said, the signal is from 0 to 255, so let's make progress bar minimum 0, maximum 255. And in the timer we will write progress bar position string to integer signal data. So let's test it. We got grammar mistake. Connect. Okay, so we can see signal is working. The spinning tuning knob, signal working. Now let's make change in frequency. Let's use speed button components. We're going to use it because it's allowed to add images on the button instead of words. I already prepared two images, left and right. In properties we have option glyph. Here we can add picture and insert it onto the button. Okay, so these buttons we are going to use to change the frequency. For changing frequency we need a timer, because if we will press and hold the button, frequencies should change. Not just only one step, it should change until we stop pushing this button. I already prepared and tested the function for changing frequency. How does it work? We need 5 variables inside: handle, port, integer radio ID, char for return buffer, integer C, and bool D. Bool logic D we will use for changing up and down, and integer C we're going to use for this step: 1 Hz, 10 Hz, 100 Hz, 1 kHz, and so on. So we start in this function like we did in reading frequency. We create read frequency, we read frequency, checking for errors. Then we copy 5 bytes from the received buffer, convert it into the integer, Then if D is false, using steps we going down, minus step, and if D is true, we going up, plus step. Then we convert it back to char, add it into the right f variable, write file, read file, checking for errors, and if there is no errors, we display the frequency as we did it in read 1. So let's declare this function in the h file. It's important because in other case program will not see this function. And semicolon on the end. It's important. The timer is false. Let's make it interval is 20 milliseconds. It's enough. But it's enough for when we're using speed 1500. If we are going to use small speeds like 1200 baud or less, we need to select higher. We need to select something like 150 milliseconds. So let's put our function into the timer. We're using timer 3. So write VF4 Icom radio ID. Here we're going to use variable step. Let's use VF4 data as we did it in reading frequency, because in any case will be displayed the same one, so we don't need to write anything else in the timer 1. And also let's create this variable step in the first boolean variable direction, which will be show up or down, and we will need variable step. In button property events, we have two options. We have two events, on mouse down and on mouse up. So we don't want to use only click. We're going to use mouse down. So when we when we press the button and hold it, timer still be working. So direction is false. Timer 3 enabled true. And on mouse up, when we release the button, timer 3 enabled false. Same for the second button. Direction is equal true. Timer 3 enabled true. And on release button, timer 3 enabled false. Let's test it. Step. We forgot to declare step variable. Also, grammar mistake in timer should be uppercase. Okay, integer step. Now is everything looks working. So before starting this function, let's create one more combo box with steps to select the step, tuning step. In property bevel kind, let's make it flat to looks better. Let's move these labels to the left side to have more space. Let's create label, font Calibri, height 10, let's take 10, and caption step. So I think it's too small, let's take 12. Height 12. And change property style to drop down list, so it cannot be editable. Let's fill this combo box. Combo box 3 items at 10, 100, 1000 and 10,000. Of course, it's better to make it on the V4A when we display the frequency, to click the digit which we want to make as a step. But for that one, we need to use different component. It will take more time. Now I am just going to show you how to write the frequency. Later we will be working with the graphical components, so I can show you how to make program visually looks better. So don't forget combo box 3 item index to make zeros, so we can see 10 when we run the program. And now last thing we have to do, we need to stop reading thread, because port, we are not able to use serial port together with two commands. So before sending commands to change frequency, we need to stop this thread. To clean the port. So we need to, for this we need to create event. So I already did it, I just now copy it and paste. I will explain you. Create bool pause thread, it's equal files, handle hash pause event, create event, null files null, and we need to create a function void, it's mean not return anything, void, let's call it paused. If paused thread is equal true, set event hash pause event, and while paused thread is true, we just write sleep 1 millisecond. And here we insert this function paused. So when paused thread is equal true, it will thread will stop, and the cycle of 1 millisecond will be checking if paused thread is again false. And now in on the button on the speed buttons up and down, we need to on button down we need to create pause thread, we need to write true. Then we need to make a step. Step is string to integer, combo box 3 text. Same in on mouse down in button up. Okay, so we don't have any errors. Now we can run it. Okay, let's connect. Okay, up, down. Let's change step. 100 Hertz. Same up. So now everything looks good. We are don't forget to save. For today we finished.